My name is written by the window nook. My name is written by the window nook. And it's written on the cover of an old school book. And it's carved in the wood by the window nook. My dreams were made inside my head. My dreams were made inside my head. Now they hang in the air by the foot of the bed from where they're made inside my head.
24.
Holy moly. I'm still skeptical.
My words were just some things I said. My words were just some things I said. And some were misinterpreted. My words were just some things I said.
Holy
My footprints go most everywhere. My footprints go most everywhere. They're deeper only here and there. My footprints go most everywhere.
I first got interested in planetary science on a geological mapping camp out to Broken Hill in the middle of Western New South Wales, believe it or not. And what happened out there was I was just walking around out in the desert one day and found a meteorite about the size of a football. And I was really interested in what was inside it, so I cut it open with a diamond saw, looked at what was inside it. There's all this stuff in it, metal grains, sulfide grains, chondrules, that made me want to know more about how this asteroid formed, or this meteorite formed right at the start of the solar system's history. The aim of this research is really to introduce more students into meteorites. I mean, the excitement that I got out of finding a meteorite for myself the first time, I see in my students' faces when they find a big meteorite for the first time. It just gets them interested in science. And so we find these meteorites. Some of them are really, really unique to science. Actually, we found a few that are really quite unique, and we can actually produce really significant science from some of the meteorites that we found.
How do I start?
Hi, I'm Al. And we're going on.
Hi, I'm Alistair. Today we started on our field trip to the Nullarbor Desert. Expedition, yes, thank you for that. Expedition to the Nullarbor. So what we did today was we filled up the liquid nitrogen tank. We're actually freezing some samples for biological DNA phylogenetics for my project. So apart from myself on the field trip, because we ran a crowdfunding campaign, we were able to bring more people, more students. In the car with me, we have Sophie. She's a third year. This is our third generation of third year people coming along, which is good. Over here we have Richard, and Richard is an honours student. He will be doing a project looking at how meteorites melt. Here we have Sarah, and she is the last student coming with us, and she's also a third year, and she's going to find lots of meteorites.
Yes.
I'm Andrew. I've got the lovely responsibility of having organised this field trip for the past 5 years, and I've really been helping our supervisor, Andy Tompkins, push forward collecting meteorites on the Nullarbor Plain.
They pat your head down when they put you on the train. Stood waving on the platform, receding on the plane. There's always somewhere else that calls you, and you're no good at goodbyes. You move towards the night time coming, tears are in your eyes. So come on, starshine, come on, light shine.
Yeah, I know what he's saying.
Come on, reach out.
Yeah, it looks like we're probably just getting to the turn-off now. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're actually, we missed the turn-off. We missed the turn-off back there. Well, it was back that way about,
Okay, 2 Ks.
a few Ks.
I got an overactive mind.
We'll follow you, Bill.
Afraid of the dark.
In Al we trust.
Steel wheels run.
Or not. Where's my
Always trust in Al.
Are they gonna get better from here?
Wait for them so they can see us.
We might actually just go over here because there's no dogwash here.
Alright, cool. You're looking for another road that's parallel slightly to this one. There it is. Got it. Yep, found it.
Now you're just asking for trouble, walking out this far from town. You've stashed your dollars in your socks in case someone's lurking around. The only sounds your shoes make, and the gravel underneath, and the rattling old tobacco tin where you keep your baby teeth.
I'm waiting for like a human skull.
Come on, Stash.
I haven't had tetanus shots, so I really should.
Come on,
You got a number plate?
where I be.
Bruce came like flying off
Come
it.
on, light shine. Come on,
Coming!
sunshine. Come on,
over that way.
nighttime, like the rainfall. And stone.
I found the number plate!
Found.
Shit.
My pack is on my back.
And it flew off the car too. It was ages away.
Throw your gloves.
Done the nullable. It doesn't exactly get hype phone ready, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we passed it. Well, I can pull in here. Looks like the track I'm trying to find, we either missed past it or it's completely overgrown. So we're just searching for it. 2 roads, 2 lines straight down there.
How far away from it do you reckon you are?
Yep. I think we're actually parked right on it. I can't
You say it's late, I'm going home. She says
yeah.
you've always got a boat.
It's
You say
very,
home
very
for
subtle.
whatever place
We're
you've
literally
been
sitting on it.
sleeping the most. You got 11 different phone numbers committed to your
Yep,
mind.
turn left now.
You got
Nah.
15 different addresses you've had to leave
Should see
behind.
it's straight ahead of us.
Come on, Starship.
Google it.
Come
Yeah, he's got it. All right.
on, light shine. Come on, moonshine over where I be.
Nice work.
Meteorite searching. You get a group of say 5 people, or we've got 7 people here. You got 7 or 8?
7.
7. So you get everybody 10 metres apart or walking in lines, and so you cover an area like this. And with us, we're parking a car, and then everybody spreads out and does a loop broadly like this. So there's one person, and that's another person, and that's another person, another person. And strewn fields they're kind of about, I don't know, 5 to 20 kilometres long and about 2 to 5 k's across, so like that sort of a shape. So that is sort of a shape. More like an ellipse type of thing. Usually as meteors come in, they'll break up in the atmosphere and spread out. And so if you find one stony meteorite, usually there'll be more than one somewhere nearby. So if you have a small area and you only search that area, you've got a low probability of finding a strewn field. So if you do this, park your car here, and then 3 hours later park your car here and do this again, and then 3 hours later you do it again, all of a sudden you're covering a much bigger area than just doing this.
So this is our camp, the morning of our first full day on the Nullarbor. As you can see, this is the oasis. You can literally count the number of trees here. It's like 15, 10, not much. Over there we've got Andrew. He's doing the Lion King. He's trying to find reception. Because we've got the Watson Tower right up there, so people who've got Telstra can get a little bit of reception. A bit chaotic at the moment. We've got enough
2 seconds.
food here to last for our 10 days. We've got a gas cooker for our cooking. There's our tent scattered across this oasis. Yeah, so it's not like the ones you see in the movie with the genie. It's quite sparse. And we've still got 300 odd litres in the car here, and that should keep us going for the entire time. And up here we have a solar panel, which is we're using to pretty much charge our electronics and run the fridge. It's pretty good.
Hello, I'm Richard. I'm one of the people who are hunting for meteorites out here in the vast and empty Nullarbor Plains.
So we've come out here to look for meteorites because quite a bit of the research I do is on the early solar system. Meteorites are the main tool we use to help us understand how the early solar system formed, how the planets formed, how the different asteroids formed, how the Earth formed, all that sort of thing.
This is the first day really of our full proper hunt after we've set up our main camp.
I am just setting out. I've got my radio, I've got my GPS, sunscreen, magnet stick, water, somewhere.
Today's been rather hot and there are quite a few flies. I finally got my fly net off. I'm a bit of a sook, I think. All the others seem to just walk along with all the flies all over them, but I can't stand it. I thought I'd show you what it's like to walk along and try and find meteorites, of which I've found none yet.
I have very carefully chosen a direction that has absolutely no meteorites on it.
I can see someone about half a k that way, over there. I think that's possibly Andy. And then over there, you can see someone else, which you probably can't see, but that's, I think, Al. There you can see, I don't know if you can see the car there, so I haven't gone very far yet.
We have a very advanced and sophisticated technique for finding meteorites in here. We walk along at a precise pace. It's different for every person, but it's always precise, I can show you. And when we see something that looks like a meteorite, we leap at it with full vigour and test it with our meteorite pokers.
You can see out here that's a flat plain, not much to see for a long way around, and basically the entire plain is covered in limestone, and most of the rocks you can see are white coloured rocks. That means that when we're looking for meteorites, they're usually dark coloured, and so they stand out a bit against the light coloured rocks.
Nope. Nope. If a meteorite falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, can I still find it?
This looks like good ground over here. I'm going to walk this way. There's lots of white rocks here, not too many dark rocks at all, so it makes it easy for me to walk along with the sun behind me, spot any dark rocks and test them with a magnet.
Let's try and find one. So there's one over there. I don't know if you can see it.
There's one there. Not a meteorite.
And so what they do is they walk towards it, but also look on the ground when they're walking for any other rocks.
But sometimes you'll come across a darker rock. Hopefully we come across one while I'm filming.
Actually, it's pretty cool because a lot of these rocks are actually coral fossils.
A piece of coral.
But half the time they're just bits of coral.
So we get about this close, and even from all the way over there, it was obvious it was just coral. Coral.
So as you walk around, a lot of the black rocks you see, if you inspect them closely, are actually pieces of coral from way back when.
About 50 million years old.
Coral.
Because this whole area, despite it being as barren as it is, was actually once under an ocean.
Oh, look, it's a nice piece of coral. And there we are. Definitely coral and not a meteorite.
So once you get used to recognising the bits of coral, you don't necessarily have to test them with the magnet.
I think that's coral over there.
And you just think the ocean is God knows how far away, a few hundred kilometres at least. But yet, here, laying on the ground, free for people to just walk along and pick it up from the sand.
Oh! Coral.
Looks like a bit of coral.
You kind of get used to walking along a bit faster, and basically the more ground you cover, the increased statistical probability you have of finding some of the meteorite.
Okay, so I just had something click on the magnet.
Sometimes you find meteorites which are sitting out in a clay pan all by themselves.
But on closer inspection, it seems to be a meteor wrong.
They turn out not to be meteorites, and when they turn out not to be meteorites, we call them a soul crusher.
It's hang on, let's come around this way so you can see. So it's got little bits of quartz.
Oh, look at that. It's nice and smooth, nice fusion crust. It looks like nothing else around it. Oh, it's got quartz in it and it's not magnetic. Nope.
This is going nowhere fast. I'll tell you what, I'll film and you search for a while, okay?
Said I just give up. And she said, that thing you're trying so hard to see, don't look at it directly. It'll hide from you like an old gecko on a gum tree. Well, did my father's binoculars help? Well, that depends. If what he saw was a visitor and not a scratch upon the lens, then someone says I see it, and another one says I think I see it. If there's a long and fiery tail, then that'll be it.
What did you find, Soph?
Oh, well, it's beautiful.
Coral.
Tectites. Wow.
And some meteor wrongs that are really wrong, but I picked them up because I was excited.
Sounded like he said he found a really good meteor rock.
This one here looks a little bit like a meteorite because it's got that nice rounded surface. It's quite black, but realistically I think this one's a little bit too shiny and it looks a little bit too much like an ironstone concretion. And this one was an even bigger doozy. It's starting to break up. I'm not sure if the camera will be able to pick it up, but along here and then along there, it's almost breaking up like a meteorite will break up. But then it's not magnetic, but it's nice and smooth, so I thought I'd pick it up anyway and record where it came from. So we'll have to wait and see. Comparison, that one's definitely a maybe. I'm not 100% for that little one. Definitely maybe, yeah.
I played the game, Pleiades, all through the 1980s. $3 worth of 20s. I'd waste the whole damn day.
So these two meteorites here, these are the ones that we think are maybes. And as you can see, it was quite buried. You can see by the dust around it. But if you have a look at that surface there, it's quite smooth. It looks very much like a fusion crust. And if you have a look on the inside though, it's got some pretty large crystals, which you don't normally see out here. The other one, which we'll bring over, this one here is pretty much the same sort of thing, except it doesn't have a fusion crust. And you got some pretty big looking crystals in there. But the thing that makes me think it's probably not is the fact that the edges are rather smooth compared to fragmented meteorites that we find.
You see, I don't see the crystals in this one. That's not a crystal, that's a divot.
No, big black.
That could just be iron staining. This is a bit more convincing because it's got these three things here.
Yeah, exactly, those three white ones.
Yeah, well, white, red.
White, lighter.
Yeah, and it's got a few pits in it, which might have been like sulfides or something, which have been
and this around here
picked out. Yeah,
definitely looks like some sort of crust.
It's some sort of crust, but then again, it also kind of looks a little bit like
ironstone. Exactly right. So we're not going to know until we cut them. No, this one's ironstone.
So there's no chondrules, there's no crystals or anything like that. It's just oxidized iron.
So yeah, first one is a no-show. Let's see if the second one is. Coming out white, this is a good thing. Oh yeah, this is something.
What did I miss?
Excellent.
Do you see any texture in it?
Bit hard to see at the moment.
Might be something we need to polish.
I think it's just a siltstone, but
It looks like, yeah.
Can I have a look?
can you see any cleavagey bits in it?
Let's have a look, see. Oh, I'm just putting it here underneath. Oh yeah. I'm seeing some things that could be. It's just... I'm still skeptical.
Yeah.
Very skeptical. I think the best thing to do though is to polish the surface. There's things in there which could be, but it's just... They could also equally be quartz. Yeah, well, it's, no, these are darker than quartz, but it could be something like a...
I still think of that visitor blazing through the endless black. If I'm still alive, I'll be 85 if he ever makes it back. Blazing out a trail through the deep and silent black. He'll never look behind him, and he'll never leave his track.
Do you see what I see? It's not a meteorite, but it's the next best thing!
What do you call an IT guy who's really careful with cash? Tektite. The tektite's in a black hole on the ground. The edges usually see through.
Look down here. The black thing! It's a tektite in its natural habitat. Now, we radio it in, and everyone says woo for some reason. I'm not sure why, but we always do it. Listen, listen. Tektite! See?
I'm known as the tektite queen because I love tektites and I found quite a few. In one of our trips I found 26 tektites.
I found so many. I just stopped over the radio. I was like, I'm going to be calling out every second. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Holy moly.
So why do we get excited about those little things? Well, it's also a little bit of why we get excited, or why we actually come out here.
That came from an impact.
From an impact in Southeast Asia. These formed from an impact.
When an asteroid would have impacted.
Over in Indonesia.
And then they got flung over the Australian continent
About 700,000
years ago in Southeast Asia. They usually come in different shapes, like these ones here are called buttons. You got a couple of boats in there as well.
I got a cool one. That one was like a spaceship.
That's an awesome one.
Nice.
I know, I saw that, I was like, what?
Look at this one. That's one of the best tektites I've seen.
It's a fossil.
They're very shiny, and if you hold them up to the light, which you won't be able to see through a GoPro, I'm afraid, then they turn a little bit green because they're actually a type of silicate glass.
They are the impact glass I was talking about earlier.
A bit like sand, except these ones fell from space.
Fairly confidently say that that surface hasn't really changed much in 700,000 years. But why do we want an old surface? Well, meteorites tend not to hang around on the surface for too long. So out here, we have a surface which is quite dry. As you can tell, there's not much in the way of lakes or trees or anything out here.
You can see here there's a bit of sand around here. So this is a relatively young surface, so I don't want to be walking on this stuff if I can help it.
But you also get these surfaces here, these sort of stony surfaces. As you can imagine, if you've got a soil profile, you've got sand and rocks in there, they gradually come together because all the sand in between them is gone, and they just make this pavement.
That's called a gibber surface. The gibber is good because it means all the sand has been blown away, left the little rocks behind.
It's kind of good when you're trying to hunt for meteorites, which are rocks. So because it takes thousands and thousands of years to actually make that particular type of surface, you can tell that that surface hasn't changed in thousands of years, which is perfect. It means nothing has eroded away from it, nothing has come and buried that surface. It is intact as it looked thousands of years ago.
So, what's the best way to find meteorites? No, that's me asking you. Please do tell me.
So if you're giving your eye out for brown balls?
Yep.
Cool. I don't understand today.
Very weird.
What do you mean?
It was a really good surface and found no tektites. While you're up, if you could get us a lemonade, please.
Same.
What if I sat down right now, Al?
I mean, you're more than welcome to.
Where are the cups?
They should be in there.
Well, can you come and find them?
I'm covered in pistachio.
I've been on this field trip for the past 5 years and was on for a year before that as well, so this is my 6th year out here. For the last 5 years, I've done the lion's share of organising it as well. And in that time, I've found probably around... Wow.
How long is it? I'd say it's as long as my heart, but hey, it's not magnetic at all as long as your heart goes on.
Well, that was a good thing to get on camera. I just found one. So yeah, he's only about 200 metres away from me. Let's see this one. Alrighty, it's in my backpack in the middle. Down. Whoa, nice one. That's the first bit, it was just sitting there like that. Yeah, that's really And nice. Then I found this in a salt bush about 20 centimetres away. And have a look. Ka-ching! That's a bit that's broken off here too. A bit there and a bit there. Had a look around for it, couldn't find it. That's not bad.
So to begin with, I was looking for a really nice black round obvious meteorite, you know, your stereotypical you know, it's got this fusion crust and just sitting there going, pick me, I'm a meteorite, and super magnetic. I realised that probably wasn't going to happen after I saw the ones Al and the others have found.
I just found a meteorite. It's just down here. It's this dark rock here. Right there. That one right there. And if you get a magnet, be able to see, it leaps up onto it. Yay, meteorite!
So then I moved to technique number 2, which was, why don't we test everything with a magnet stick and hope that something sticks and hope that it's not sandstone. So that's what I did, and that's how I found my first meteorite.
Yay! I found one, maybe! I kind of, like, I didn't see it first, I just saw it on my stick and I'm like, oh, that looks good.
What did you guys find?
Yeah?
First meteorite!
Yay! Thank God. Looks like metallic.
So I have got some of the other team members collect biology samples as well as the meteorites themselves. Cool. Well, I got a good chunk of dirt, so...
Alright. We got a good chunk of dirt. Alright, we'll run it. We'll see how we go.
Turns out meteorites might actually be a really good habitat on Mars to find microbes.
So I put one of these, there's a fourth one that's in your little vial thingies.
Ah, sweet. Did you grab dirt as well?
Ah! That's what the vials were for, to grab the dirt.
The reason for this is because meteorites are a very good proxy for what could be happening on Mars today.
So what we're going to do is we've chopped off a little bit.
He needs to get his cutting technique right.
And we're going to crush it up and we're going to freeze it to see if and that stops any of the DNA degradation. And then we're going to try and fix it. See if we can get any microbes. Should be good.
There's a lot of chondrules there.
There you go, chondrules. You can see them just barely there. The grey round things.
Nice.
Okay, I'll try.
Oh, there's a fly.
That's right.
Here is Hermione, aka 11415A, and Al has since mutilated it, which is sad. He's cut off a side and a bit of the top to put in media, so when he goes back to the lab he can work out what's going on with it. Anyway, I found it walking along and I looked up and I saw this black thing and I thought, if that's not a meteorite, then I don't know what the hell I'm doing out here, because it looks pretty obvious. And it was sitting like this, so the fractured face down, and it was magnetic, which is always a plus. We know it hasn't actually, well, we think it hasn't been out there very long because on the cut surface that Al's cut in a dodgy manner.
Shut up.
Yeah, Al, you've already destroyed my meteorite. You don't need to destroy my chat about the meteorite. So because we can still see a lot of metal in it, we don't think it's been out there that long. So it's pretty much a perfect half of the meteorite.
Meteorite find? The right colour, the right shape. It's big enough to get biology off.
It's metal rich. There's sparks coming out of this like nothing else. Oh, wow. Wow. Wow, look at the sulfides in there.
Look at that sulfide and metal, that vein just in there.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's weird, really weird.
Sounds like Sophie has just found her third meteorite. She's really on a roll. Even so, don't put butter on it. I think she has a knack for it that I might not have. I hope Sarah has though, and Sarah's just been unlucky.
I haven't found anything yet, so I'm hoping that if I keep carrying this with me, then we'll be able to witness me finding one.
Is when you bring it new students who've never done it before, they're not used to doing the whole pattern recognition thing.
So I think Andy's just found a meteorite. It's come over the radio, but it's been really static here, so I can't really hear. He must have walked in the exact opposite direction to me or something. Today isn't going too well yet, but we'll see.
It takes a while to get used to doing that, and so they have to go a little bit slower at first, so they can't cover as much ground, so their chances of finding something are a bit lower.
The Indian Pacific's coming past, by the way.
Oh, the train's coming.
Should we all moon them at once?
Be very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
Okay, so it's halfway through the walk. I've done 6.9 kilometers and an hour and 58 minutes walking time.
And so they can take 2, 3, 4, 5 days sometimes to find their first meteorite.
Oh, come on! Which was a bit frustrating.
Maybe the rabbits ate all the meteorites in the area, and that's why we can't find any, and it made them super radioactive rabbits.
Keep people positive in their outlook. And some people are more resilient than others.
Not finding a meteorite isn't too bad. I mean, it's not as bad as it sounds. I think there are worse things in life, like being struck by a meteorite. That would be actually it would be a pretty fantastic way to go.
I just hope Andy finds one, because he gets really grumpy if he doesn't find one in a day or even in a session.
So it teaches one of the good things it teaches a bit of perseverance as well.
I have been understanding that feeling for most of the week. But he's found like 15 meteorites altogether.
Either way, no. We will see what the future holds, and we will see what my magnet sticks hold in the future.
So we are now on day 6. Day 6. So we are over what we call our hump day, so we're just over halfway. Richard's first meteorite.
I've got about 20 pieces or so.
You got 20. Holy shit! It's going to be massive. Was a 1.7 kilo meteorite in over 100 fragments.
They all stick.
This might be the biggest meteorite yet. But what was really funny about it was he came back to the car and said, "Oh, I found all this pile of ironstone sitting in a pile."
I thought it was ironstone.
Of the trip though.
I didn't even bother reading it.
Biggest meteorite of the trip, easy. It's in about 30 pieces. And he just gives us this fragment which is about 30 grams, 40 grams stuck to the end of his magnet stick. And I'm like, my God, that's a meteorite. That's a meteorite.
We've got enough biology stuff anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
That is what broken up meteorites look like out here.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep, so basically what we did, we drove over to where we found it, and it was kind of like a lucky dip. Everyone got to find some. It's good fun when those happens, because, oh shit, this is good fun.
I'm sorry, this is what the road is giving me.
Oh, ow.
Did not see it at all.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So it went down quick once it's gone.
Oh, it must be a pretty big.
Yeah, but it didn't.
So with pop tyres from prickles getting in them, from limestone going through the sidewalls of the tyre. But I've never bent a rim before. Oops.
Oh shit.
What?
Do you have the key?
It's in the car.
No.
I set of bushes on the track we were going on, and obviously the rock was hidden within that. I didn't see it at all, and just as we went past, as we went over a little bump with it, bang. Oh well. From meteorites, we know that the very centre of the Earth is made of metallic iron, solid metallic iron with a liquid iron outer core, and that produces our magnetic field.
This is the one found today. What's really cool about it is where's magnets. It's not very magnetic. You can see it barely deflects the magnet.
The question I'm trying to answer with my PhD is, can you get that in planets which have a different chemistry? Kind of like to say, my research is on, do Ewoks exist?
It's either very weathered and it's lost all its iron, but that's unlikely considering how good a shape it's in.
That changes the chemistry of the whole system, so it changes the minerals that are present.
It may be carbonaceous.
In fact, in these sorts of bodies, you wouldn't have metal present at all, so you can't then form a metallic core.
Carbonaceous meteorites are very important because they have what's called calcium aluminium inclusions in them, and they're believed to be the first solids in the solar system.
Can I melt them? Can I produce something that would then form a core? Would that then be able to produce a magnetic field?
They also have a lot of exotic amino acids and organic chemistry in them that some people believe helped enhance the origin of life, like a pantry of sorts, like an ingredient list.
Like afternoons when clouds come and hang low over the plains, a gentle rapture grips the people out here when it rains. They dream and wait to find it gone as quickly as it came, and everything's the same. And all around, the dust spins and plays across the ground.
Hello. Today we're over halfway, so I think it's day 8. I think I found my first meteorite. It's really small, but it's brown, which is nice change from all the black things I've been seeing, and it's got an interesting texture on the front that looks a bit like a fusion crust, and also it's magnetic, of course, so fingers crossed that it's my first one.
Hi Sarah. I take it something exciting happened today.
Yeah, I found 2 meteorites today.
Yay!
You can't even right now.
I can't even. I could not even, yes. But yeah, I found a couple little bits, so that's nice. I would like to find a bigger one, maybe something that's a bit more meteorite-y and, you know. I have something.
I try to understand the solar system till it hurts my head. I decide to make it relative with objects round my bed. If the earth is on my pillow and the sun lies in the sink, then we're closer than we think.
good one too.
And on the air, the dust plays and gets in everywhere.
Chapter 3, Log Entry Sol 25. Remember those old math questions you had in algebra class, where water is entering a container at a certain rate and leaving at a different rate, and you need to figure out when it will be empty? Well, that concept is critical to the Mark Watney Doesn't Die project I'm working on.
So, shit happened. Hello. We're stuck out in the Nullarbor and we're dragging a four-wheel drive behind us. So this is our lovely camp now.
So yesterday we were driving back to camp and Rick's fan belt, it hasn't sounded right the whole trip, and it's, what do you call, shredded maybe? Broke. And so we had to tow him back to camp. And so this morning we woke up after not a very good night's sleep because it was really windy last night and really rainy, and I thought my fly was going to fly away on my tent. So we've decided to leave early because the rain sort of set in and it's only going to get worse. So if you can see the road, all these puddles everywhere. So we're just towing our way out. And how long should it take, Al, to get to Nundroo?
6 to 8 hours. 6 to 8 hours.
Shit, and how long did it take us on the way in? An hour and a half. So you can kind of understand our dilemma.
We have a couple of other oases which we need to go through, and oases are really basically big mud balls.
There's an oasis over there. Unfortunately, it's not like an oasis, you know, from a Disney movie or a desert movie or an Indiana Jones movie or anything like that. That is an oasis over there. Do you see the trees? No? That's okay. That's still the oasis. There's what? Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 8 trees. There's no water. There's no water out here. Water just doesn't exist.
Yeah, so at the moment, in the other car, because they don't have any power, it's very much like Apollo 13. They're fogging up. They don't have any ability to play music or anything. They can't see outside, and they're just running out of power. They're probably going to run out of power for even the windscreen wipers in maybe a half an hour or so. They're breathing shallowly.
Freezing up.
You know, they've got to change the CO2 scrubbers with, you know, pantyhose and whatever they got on board the ship. Hello, can you hear us? Hello? Yes, I'm here. Can you please? We've hit a third hiccup.
So we've had a flat on the trailer and we had to get the spare tyres out of the middle of the trailer.
I'll show you all the stuff that we had to get out. So we're now on the side of the road. Al's looking very cheery.
To make matters worse, it looks like there's none of us have a spanner to fix it, funnily enough, because someone's put the nuts on too tight, and when we did try to remove them with the proper spanner, it actually bent the spanner, so...
Go train! Hello! We're stranded! How you going, Al? We have one of them.
So we don't really have much option but to drive out on a flat. We thought it was a V8, but it's actually a straight 6, so it turns out that the guy at Nundroo actually does have a fan belt after all. Hey guys, I've got a bit of good news.
What's happening, Al?
So we've been lucky enough to encounter some individuals here on the road. They passed us earlier, but they're just filling up their tyres. So hopefully they have the right spanner and we can fix the spare tyre at least. So we don't have to worry about damaging that when we get onto the main road. It's a meteorite. Right. 4.5 billion years old. See that black stuff? That's the remnant fusion flux.
Yeah. Burn.
Yeah, the hard one. Over 85% meteorite magnetic. Wow. Oh well, not everyone's in science.
Rain, where you gonna go now? There is nothing that you don't already know now. Everything on my mind is up and gone.
Was it only yesterday when I last saw you? Now you're not so pale, your cheeks look redder.
I've never felt better.
It's taken 2.5 hours to do something that normally only takes 20 minutes. The wire has little diamonds embedded into it, and there are meteorites out there with diamonds in them.
The only thing that's going to be hard to diamond is nanoscale diamonds.
Where you gonna go now? There is nothing that you don't already know now. Everything on my mind is up and gone.
Everything on my mind is up and gone.
Fullerite is another one. No, Fullerite. Oh, not full of shite. No, not full of shite.
Not going in.